second ago, but it just was a disaster. So we're doing the car streams again, but today I want to talk about, actually I'm going to retitle it, Can Eating High Protein Make You Fat, Sick, and Tired on Keto and Carnivore? And the answer is yes. So let's go over the details as to why. I'm waiting for you guys to come into the chat. Everybody keeps trying to eat a lot of protein because they think that if they eat high fat, they're going to gain weight, which makes no sense whatsoever unless you're sticking your face in a bathtub filled with fat, gobbling it up. Okay, nobody eats that much fat. We have regulatory systems that tell our body, all right, I'm good, right? Because your body has to use fat to, what's up, Gary? Your body, I heard what's going down in your state. Ooh, okay, your body has to, you have to digest it. You have to have protease. I mean, you have to have, well, that too. Lipase, a good gallbladder. What's up, Amani? I gotta make you, let me see if I can make you a mod now. No, I can't. I'm gonna have to do it later because I'm in my car. But, burn down my car. Okay. So you need all this equipment to break down fat, and the reason why people don't do well on fat is because they number one, they can't break it down, or they'll have leaky gut, or they'll have high blood sugar, and you can't regulate your insulin control, and then you're trying to kind of eating a bunch of fat and carbs, and then that makes you fat, but not fat alone. No. So people end up eating a lot of protein, and this is a huge nonsense, garbled mess on these diets because a lot of people are having issues with their nitrogen balance, right? Nitrogen metabolization of their protein. The problem is that you have all these byproducts from eating protein, like creatinine and uric acid and purines. And if your body has it, because you can't use protein as energy, it's the worst form of energy, which is why so many of you on high protein feel like garbage. And so eating a lot of protein, at the end of the day, what your body can't use is energy, or sorry, it can't use for amino acid to build muscles. It will try to convert that back into energy, which is not good energy. And ultimately what your body can't use as energy will be stored as fat. So hence making you fat, because you're having this insulin response. These people are doing OMAD, 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, keto on high protein, carnivore on high protein. There are two problems, big problems that you guys, well, there's three actually. The reasons why you guys are gaining weight eating a lot of protein is because A, you're skipping your meals, your blood sugar becomes so destabilized, and then you stuff a bunch of protein that your body cannot break down all of that, can't metabolize it all. And so the body will have to convert what it can't use. And so you've got this positive nitrogen balance and this negative nitrogen balance, and what your body cannot break down and use will be converted into glucose, stored and converted into glucose and then stored, and then your kidneys have to go through all these byproducts. So it's such a dumb, ridiculous idea to eat a lot of protein. I don't know who these people are telling you this, guys, but they clearly don't work with people and don't realize how many people are getting ill because they're just not talking to all these people. They're doing it and they're like, I'm fine, but most people don't know what fine feels like anymore, or I'm doing great because I'm thin. And thin has nothing to do with anything. So I just wanted to go and talk about what the negative effects of eating high protein. So maybe I'll retitle it again, but the negative effects of eating high protein: A, you can get fat; B, you can jack up your kidneys; and if you're doing carnivore, then you start to have problems with the lowering of your diamine oxidase. These are like the three really big problems people have, and you're having problems breaking down the byproducts coming from protein. Yep. And if your stomach acids are low, and then you've got a hard time, you don't have enough pepsin in your stomach acid, then a lot of people are still having this leaky gut response, this inflammatory histamine response. And if you're having issues with your gut wall, and you're having issues with having the histamine response to a bunch of protein that your body's reacting to, there's just so many different variables on why people just should not go and fast and then eat a bunch of protein. It's just so wrong. I remember there was this dude, I forgot his name, but he used to call it like carb backloading, or he used to call it something stupid. And he was like, oh, what you need to do is you need to eat a bunch of carbs. You don't eat all day like the intermittent fasting, and then towards the evening you would eat a bunch of carbs. And people start doing this stuff and just wrecking their health. So let me see what some of the comments are. I sometimes overeat protein because I'm afraid of having an episode of eating fat, having jacked up my stomach, nausea, diarrhea. Okay, so again, Chase, of course, you know this is the gallbladder. You never ever are going to can eat high protein. You're gonna have to give up a carnivore diet and try to find vegetables that you don't react to, or plant source foods or starches that you don't react to or react less to, because you can't use protein as a source of energy because of all the byproducts your body has to break down. It's not good for the kidneys. All right, so we got 24 people in the house. Don't forget to like up the stream, because I don't check who is liking up the stream. Sweeteners on keto carnivore. This is, people don't have control, right? So stevia could be a keto, not carnivore, keto approved sugar sweetener, but the problem is the oxalates, and people start using the stevia all the time. So that's the biggest problem with stevia. There's also allulose. There is non-GMO allulose. I don't know how they make it, but it comes from corn. You can get a non-genetically modified allulose, and they take the fiber from the corn, and it has a sweet taste. It tastes closest to sugar, but the data isn't out long enough now to know if it's okay or not. I don't know, but yeah, probably gonna have to give up the sweeteners unless you have a lot of control and you can do the stevia or the allulose once a month, right? Bloating common with keto flu. Oh, that's right, you were asking me questions. I answered the questions earlier today. Bloating is, no, it's not that keto equates bloating, it's the foods that you're eating on keto. So what foods are you eating, Imani? Because you would have to switch them out and try something else. So what foods are you eating? What foods are you eating to then find something that we can switch out? Yes. Also, leaky gut is, bile, when your body's releasing bile, if you're purging out the last bit, especially if you're using things to cleanse your biliary duct system, like milk thistle for the liver, or lemon water, or do a flush, you might release some bile, which is kind of green in color. And if you feel better after that, then perfect. If not, then we've got to go and see why you're having bile end up in your stool. Butter, liver, salmon, grass-fed meat. So probably it's the butter, right? It could be the butter. Actually, it could be any of those. So you got to separate them. And I would take out butter for a couple of days and use a different fat. And then I would take out salmon. Salmon is very high histamine because there's a lot of bacteria on it. But I'm thinking, Imani, it's the butter, to be honest. You do have a damaged GI, but I think the butter is creating the bloat. Okay, I'm going to drink a little bit more water. and try to clear up the misinformation about eating too much protein is fine, because it's not. Penny says that butter makes her bloat as well. Yeah, you'll have to switch to tallow. I don't want you guys to be afraid of eating fat. I want you to really learn how, because people eat protein out of fear of eating fat. So, for example, Imani is most likely having problems with butter. So she's going to try tallow. And you would do that by eating the tallow for 3 days straight if you're doing 200 grams or 150 of tallow, and then other fats like in your meats or avocado. And then if you're having a response, coconut oil is not really ketogenic, but you can use it as a test to see if you're having the nausea or the bloat. But I would use tallow and coconut oil. The coconut oil alone is not going to be ketogenic, contrary to what they used to say a long time ago. Do you think people on low-fat diets can also get digestive issues like loose stool? Yes, you can get digestive issues doing anything. It's not low carb that gives you digestive issues. It's the foods that you're choosing on these low fat diets. Sorry. Do you think people low fat diets? It's just whatever you're eating. So loose stool, it doesn't have to be the gallbladder. It can be histamine or leaky gut. So you got to figure out what foods are giving you loose stool that you're having a negative reaction to or a sensitivity to. So I don't want people to be afraid of fat. I want them to get their stress down so that their glucose isn't high. Your glucose being high is the problem. And most of you walk around with high blood sugar, and then you do high fat and you start gaining weight, and it's not the fat, it's the fact that you're eating either too much protein with your fat, or you are or your stress is high, you're not sleeping well, and your blood sugar's high, and that's what's making you store fat, not the fat alone. Let me see, what are your recommendations for fat? Tallow, the one you're trying. I like butter, and I sometimes get histamine issues from having too much, so I switch up using lard. So Chase uses lard sometimes, but the lard doesn't taste as good. Nope. How can I make it taste better? I've said to people with tallow or with lard, if you're buying it in jars, if you're not rendering it, or if you're buying it in packages, just put it in a saucepan, slow cook it with a little bit of salt, and then put it back into like a mason jar, and then it'll have some taste because of the salt. It's my little hack. And if you don't have any issues with any herbs, you can put a little herbs mixed in with your lard or mixed in with your tallow a little bit and some salt, and then saucepan it, melt it down, and then solidify it back into a mason jar and put it in the refrigerator, and then take it out, and it'll be like tasting a lot better. There's no real like supplements for leaky gut, like, oh, I'm gonna take glutamine and that's gonna seal my gut. It really doesn't. Or I'm gonna take some collagen powder. Don't do that. People, like I talked about before, there are certain foods that will help encourage your stomach acid. You might want to do like lemon water or a liver cleanse, right? Anyway, anything to get the biliary duct system going. That's part of the digestive tract. But you could do lemon water or apple cider vinegar before you eat a meal to help break down your foods of any sort, because having large particles of food end up in the small intestine really makes it difficult for that small intestinal permeable wall to seal back up again. Rotating your foods is better. Getting sleep is better. There isn't really a supplement that will help. You could do like an intestine from Ancestral Supplements or something like that to help with digest your food, and the digesting of your food will give the gut a break to seal it back up again. So there's no like one supplement that will take you there, unfortunately. It's a lot of like rotating foods, eating the right foods, and getting your stress down. My best recommendations for thyroid issues. I'll do a video on it, but I can say just really briefly, find the right diet. It's either going to be low carb, high fat, keto, omnivore, or high fat carnivore for the short term. You want to make sure that you don't become hypoglycemic on non-starch diets like keto and carnivore. If you have hypoglycemia, that's a stress, it's an inflammatory response, and then the gut wall cannot heal, or the thyroid, my bad, um, cannot perform its job of trying to produce this T3. So the equipment that you need, so it's like equipment, stress, and then the ability for the thyroid hormone to get in the cell. So the equipment that you need is the right food and the timing of your food, and then to balance your blood sugar. Now you can fix your thyroid on a ketogenic diet or a ketogenic carnivore diet, which is high fat, but you've got to eat fat in between meals, making it 5 to 6 meals, 3 main meals. So you're eating every 3 hours. You have to keep your blood sugar balanced. You have to go to bed extra early for thyroid people, because that's a big part of a thyroid problem, is that extra cortisol that they're not aware of. They're not sleeping deep enough, because your body starts to fix that thyroid between, and I'm not even kidding, between 9 p.m. and midnight. The body starts to fix the thyroid, or the ability to balance its hormones. I would do things like oyster extract as a tool, because it's got zinc, copper, and it's got iodine in it, and like really good amounts of iodine. And then liver I would do, because it also has zinc, copper, selenium, and it has vitamin C in it for the thyroid. And then I would eat anything, like if you could tolerate butter or egg yolks for the vitamin D. Vitamin D you need for the production of T3, and vitamin C you need to help get that T3 into the cells to be used. And these are just some quick hack tips, but you got to get that stress down as well. And if you keto adapt, you're going to fix the thyroid that. Let's see here. If I abnormally bloat on my period, would that go down as I become fully ketogenic or fully keto adapted? I would assume so, but it's still a small chance that you could be bloated and be fat adapted. But most likely, it's very difficult to fat adapt, because if your body's stressed, then the body doesn't like to make the ketones or to actually use them, or to balance the blood sugar. But in rare cases, you can be bloated and be fat adapted. But typically, if you are not bloated and the digestive tract is working, then you're adapted. Lemon juice help my digestion, but if I do too much, it gives me stomach cramps. Ooh, so Gabriel, that sounds like histamine. And that's how it is when you sort of microdose your way back up. You can tolerate a little, but you can't tolerate a lot. And then eventually you can tolerate a lot, but it's a slow process. Is 2 pounds of meat too much? Yes. The whole point of this video was that eating 2 pounds of beef creates a problem with nitrogen and the nitrogen byproducts, uric acid, purines, creatinine, and breaking these things down and getting rid of them without having the kidneys having to suffer. And then a lot of you guys just don't chew the meat, or it spikes your blood sugar. It's just so messy to eat too much protein. In nature, we wouldn't be gorging on 2 pounds of meat. It just doesn't make any sense, you know? We would eat organ meats that are fatty, like the eyes, the brain, the tongue, the thymus, which would take down the need to have all these amino acids. I have a problem sleeping, always have, even as a child. I am awake, just lay in the dark for hours. So Arlene Summers, that's typically because your blood sugar is unstable, and we grow up on standard American diets to keep it unstable. We're toxic. We don't follow a circadian rhythm. We've got blue light constantly in our eyes. We don't breathe right, walk right, sit right, exercise right. So we're very inflamed. We're exposed to toxins since birth. So yeah, of course. And as a child, a lot of these parents don't get their kids to bed at like 6:30 or 7 in the evening. So I do so many consultations with parents where the kids are up until 10. I'm like, well, now they've started a bad circadian rhythm for the rest of their life. So you can fix that, though. It's very easy to fix it. By the way, guys, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My calendar's wide open if you guys want to book a consultation. And I have a course page, which is through stephanieperson.com. If you guys are having problems with any of these issues that keep being brought up. Let's see here. Typically, the reason why people can't sleep is because their blood sugar's out of whack, too much cortisol in the body. Thanks so much for clearing up, Stephanie. I thought I was developing gastritis, but histamine sounds more relevant. Too much. I sometimes get sniffles when I do certain spices. Exactly. Hi, Stephanie. Do you have any experience with reversing diabetes? Alex, a lot of people, I have reversed diabetes. In fact, one of my mods who comes in sometimes to live YouTube discussions completely reversed his diabetes and went down from almost 400 pounds down to a normal healthy weight. He's a man. And I remember I had a consultation with him, and his wife forced him to have the consultation, and he was very reluctant to do it. But now he's one of my biggest advocates, became one of my mods on YouTube. And yeah, he's like my best example of somebody who was super obese, super type 2 diabetic. He had his glucose in the 400s. His A1C was in the 7 point somethings, and that's all reversed. So yes, if you guys are patient and learn what your existing health is, and don't jump on the trends and people making all of these diets seem so easy, you can reverse a lot of the thyroid issues, the gut problems, and the diabetes. You can, or the low or the sex problems, or the sex hormonal problems, or the women who are going through menopause, premenopause, or pause, or men who are depressed because their testosterone is too low, which is an epidemic for men right now. There's not anything like it's too black. The question was, is there anything wrong with eating white meat? It's not that it's like wrong, it's just that only eating white meat and like predominantly eating white meat, which is the typical standard American protocol, because people are so afraid of dark meat for various reasons. People eat a lot of chicken breast. It's devoid of a lot of nutrition. It has a lot of omega-6 fatty acids around that meat, and it's got a good source of potassium if you eat a chicken breast, but that's kind of it. Dark meat has a lot more vitamins in it. It has a lot more quality amino acids. It's got iron and a lot more minerals in it that you would need for your optimum health. So I would not just eat white meat or white fish. It's like, doesn't have like the omega-3s that you would need in it. It just, no. Especially tilapia, which is a farmed fish, which is just nasty. Are chicken thighs and drumsticks really any more nutritious than chicken breasts? Yeah. Yes, they are. Because they're going to have, let me look it up right here. One second. Since I'm at the parking lot connected to the Starbucks. Let's see. Okay, yes, okay, so the dark meat's going to have more saturated fat, which we need. It's going, for the brain, it's going to have iron, zinc, riboflavin, thiamine, vitamin B12. Yeah. And the white meat won't. So a lot of women who've got, low iron from either leaky gut or from menstrual issues would really fare well on the darker meat, especially the liver or the heart, whereas the breast isn't going to have a lot. Let me see. Can you eliminate histamine reaction? Yes, of course. You can eliminate it very easily. It takes time, but it can easily be fixed. Let's see here. Can you eliminate that? Kathy says, I have history of binge eating, restrictive dieting, and keto. Binge on fat, definitely. But I think that the question has to be more rephrased. I don't know if you've done keto before. I won't be able to stick with high fat perfectly. It's still worth doing. And if you got a problem with binge eating, the best way is, because you need so much equipment to break down fat, takes away that binge thing. So, how often do you recommend eating a day when reverse dieting to restore menstrual cycle? How often do you recommend eating a day? Small meals, 5 to 6, all throughout the day. It's to balance your blood sugar, guys. That's why. So you don't have hypoglycemia and develop too much cortisol and adrenal response, and then have like thyroid and hypoglycemia. So that's how you keep your cycle gone, is through pregnenolone steal, which robs from your sex hormonal tree because of cortisol, because of not eating, which is why intermittent fasting is so stupid, and 1 meal a day. How often do you, okay, I read that. Yes, Stephanie helped me with my blood sugar and crashing in the afternoon, currently feeling, I feel great and more energy. Oh, you mean I helped you with your blood sugar because you wrote help. So you're feeling great now. Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on alkaline water? Oh God, it's so garbage. I mean, people will do anything to get you to spend your money. So alkaline, your body knows how to regulate its pH balance. Your body has different parts that are, in fact, we're slightly more acidic than we are alkaline. So we have our hands that have slight acidity on them to break down bacteria and pathogens. We have our orifices, our holes, like our vaginas and our bunghole, that has to be slightly acidic. Our stomach is like the sun, has to be very acidic. And then our blood is alkaline. And the thing is that when you drink a lot of alkaline water, you're neutralizing that stomach acid and you're making leaky gut so bad. No, don't do that. Do not do that. We don't need to. Our body knows how to regulate itself, its pH balance on its own. That whole Kangen water is just stealing your money, making you sick. Binge on fat, Kathy says, I love it. Yeah. Better late than never, says John, who came into the chat. Guys, don't forget to click on the like button, like up the stream, because it does help people find me when I go live, because I used to be up in the 400s when I would go live, and partially kind of being not consistently here, and then I think for years I didn't monetize my channel. It kind of messed me up, but that's okay. Is shrimp good for protein? No, you just got to get through all the toxins. They're bottom feeders. I love shrimp, so I have it from time to time, but it's not something that's a highly nutritious protein. The best protein is, we are hunters, so the best protein is going to be that has a meat that comes from red meat, just like I just said, because you're going to have all of these great nutritional benefits coming from the darker meat and better sources of amino acids rather than from fish or seafood. Sorry. Hi, Chuck. My blood sugar was 70 and my ketones are 2. I love ketosis. Awesome, Clint. Stoked to hear that. It's better to drink liquids after the meals to help with digestion. Before or after, it just neutralizes your stomach a little bit. But I was watching my horse eat the other day, and he was near water, and he was like eating, and then he was drinking and eating and drinking. So some people say it doesn't bother you, but I think it does. Excuse me. Especially for humans who drink alkaline water, who've got hypochlorhydria or as a separate issue. It's not good to drink during your eating, but afterwards, like by 20 minutes or before by 20 minutes. I like shrimp and scallops sometimes. I do too, and that's fine. It's fine. You know, I'm not gonna have you be that much. People think I'm such a purist, but I'm not that much of a purist. Just, you know, quasi purist. All right, guys, we are 30 minutes into this. It's time for me to get back to my horse. And yeah, I was gonna stream outside this Starbucks, but it's still just too hot. I'm like, I'd rather be in my car. It's just, no. And so I'm doing a car stream again. Have a great weekend. Thank you. The high fat keeps you satiated throughout the day. It really does. It really does. Just people have this fear of it. The only reason why you wouldn't or shouldn't be eating high fat is if you have an unresolved gallbladder problem. That's it. Lots of kisses to Thunder. I will go on to my YouTube channel. Maybe I can find you now, Imani, and add you as a moderator. Let's see if I can find you. Since I've got my computer connected, I cannot talk today, to Starbucks. Let's see here, guys. Oh, I was like Googling my name and it popped up Stephanie Keto Lies. Let's see that. Who did this? 2016. Oh, that's 2016. Or somebody did a Stephanie Lies. Oh, no. Just one video. Okay, hold on. I like Googling my name. I need to do a live. No, I can't because it'll mess up. I need to do a video on shopping. Oh, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the 40. Thank you so much on the super chat. It was a vegan stuff. Q lies. It has to be a vegan. No, sometimes there's haters out there, but it's probably a vegan. Let's see here. I'm gonna see if I'm live on my. Oh, I am. And find. Are you happier now at your new residence? Yes. It was awful at first. I almost left like 50,000 times. I was like, I can't. You know what I mean? It's just like, I was just miserable. I couldn't enjoy this place, Texas, at all. I was like, it's hot. I'm, you know, but I'm going to go back to California to visit for about a week or maybe 10 days. And then I think I'm really going to see the difference because it's so open here. It's so nice. I don't have a friggin' diaper on my face. Let's see here. I'm trying to find Imani. Okay, there she is. Remove, put into, hide, add as a moderator. Okay. There, I just added you as a moderator. My mom, you must be in England or Australia. You should be added. There she is. Okay. Now you got the little tool next to your name. Oh, what's up? Shala. My mother is in a southern state. I hate to say like where I am and where she is. I just don't trust people these days. But she's in Tennessee, and she is doing well, except for she got brainwashed to get that thing. So I'm really upset about that. I'm really, really upset. How often do you eat wild salmon? Oh gosh, when I can afford it. Probably about, I try to eat it like once a week, but sometimes I'll miss 2 weeks, but like once a week I try to. You know, I'll have beef, I'll have pork, I'll have salmon, I'll have wild salmon. I'll have liver, thymus, heart, ground beef. What other things do I eat? Chicken, not so much. I get bored on chicken, unless it's the liver or the heart. I appreciate you too, by the way. I forgot to say thank you. I appreciate you too, Shala. Someone jelly? What are my thoughts on only beef and water? Danielle, that's just so unhealthy, hun. No. Your diamine oxidase, you're going to develop more histamine issues. You're going to develop digestive issues, poop issues, electrolyte issues. Yeah, dehydration, and then the kidneys getting a little bit tired of the beef with the uric acid and the creatinine and the purines and all this stuff. They have thymoset HEBs. Yep. You have to either grill it or deep fry it or an air fryer, or else it's kind of like rubber. But if you do one of those different cooking methods or bake it, it'll get crispy and really nice. The gut microbes need diversity. Exactly. The problem is that when you're eating like mono foods, there isn't the diversity. So another reason why your diamine oxidase is lowering. But you need a diversity of microbes, and all food comes with different types of bacteria. Yeah, because it got some energy. At almost 50, or been on keto. I've been in keto for 14 years solid. Weird how time goes. Boom. Boom. I cannot believe how fast time has gone by. Crazy. And I always keep saying that we're living in the craziest of times. This is the reason why I moved. And I think for those who actually do some research, those are the ones that will keto adapt or fix their health or not, be like duped or bamboozled or, tricked with these shenanigans that are happening. It's the weirdest time right now. It's just the weirdest time. But it's up to us individuals to make the most out of life, I think. We have to make the most out of it. Like, I'm a Cali girl. Like, I'm an alien in this small town. Like, everywhere I go, I'm just like, they're like, what, who, how? There's so much misinformation out there. With everything. And that's why when it comes to your health, you can't just listen to gurus say, eat a bunch of protein, intermittent fasted, 1 meal a day, because they push that, eat a bunch of beef. It's embarrassing. Like, dude, do some research. Figure out that that's not working for most people, if not everyone. And then over time. And then we've got like what's happening these days, and nobody does research about it. I research it all day long. People are like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, everything. Everything's wrong with it. Everything. Do some research. Turn off your TV. Okay. All right, guys. We're 38 minutes into this. I just realized I just kept talking. Big old truck. The one thing is, being out here is people are laborers. They do a lot of hard work, and I'm not used to it. I'm just used to a bunch of actors working as bartenders and stupid stuff like that, and waitresses and bartenders and going to their auditions. I'm like, that's so fabulous. So let's do brunch. Nobody does that here. This Starbucks is completely empty on the inside because people don't know how to sit inside and use their computer. It's hilarious. And everybody in this town gets bad Wi-Fi because they live with a bunch of cattle and stuff like that. So when you're in town, you get better Wi-Fi. Starbucks has good Wi-Fi. Well, sort of. And nobody's in there working. It just behooves me. Anywho, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Imani. Thank you, everyone, for joining this live. And I will continue to bring forth great information. And as soon as I get some time to start editing a bunch of lifestyle stuff, I'm going to do the RV makeover, the skateboarding, and the horse stuff, and how to cook in an RV, it's going to be really fun and a little bit different content for my channel, because just sitting in parking lots doing live streams gets a little old. It gets a wee bit old. So, and all I'm doing, if I show you guys, is watching people go through the drive-thru at Starbucks all day. It gets like, see that white car in a line? Like, they don't even go inside. Like, why? Why? Get out of your damn car. Ugh. This is the kind of stuff that gives me a headache. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think about beef fat versus butter? Butter's better. Has more nutrition in it. Period. Stephanie, you still in Texas? Yes. Sometimes I wonder why. Yeah, I'm still in Texas. I'm waiting for this winter to come. Then I'll decide where I will ultimately stay. Either it'll be in Texas, or maybe I'll move to where my mom is. Let's see how long she stays alive with the thing. Cod liver oil is any good? Yeah, I wouldn't get it in capsules. I would get it in like the bottles, because the capsules, they like oxidize very easily. Just be careful, you know. Try to find, like, I think Nordic, what are they called? Nordic Naturals? No, Nordic something. They've got a really good company with better quality fish oils and cod oil. It's good for vitamin D. And I want to do more videos about how vitamin D has so much to do with everything, including weight loss. Because people are like, I'm not losing weight. Well, you're not balancing your blood sugar. You need some D. What should people be living in Canada do for some? Oh, a vitamin D3 lamp. They're so good. Invest the money in it, and it'll get you Nordic Naturals. Exactly. It'll get you through the winter. Because as you guys can see, I am really super tan. I haven't been this tan in so long. I love it here in Tennessee. Oh no. Just here. I can't do it. It's so ugly. It's not my style. No. I need some mountains and some less humidity. I thought I said the lamp was really bad and get cheeks. Really bad. Really bad. It was like my cheeks. It looked like from an infrared lamp, not a vitamin D3 lamp. So don't get it twisted. Thought you said the lamp. No, it was an infrared lamp. And it wasn't a rash. It was hyperpigmentation. All right, guys, time to go. I got to get to my horsey. I haven't ridden him in so many days. I need to ride him. It's just this heat, though. I'm like, I don't even feel like riding him, and the mornings are too wet. But he's got to get, he actually is hitting the tipping point of being like losing 200 pounds and gaining it and getting a little chunky. So I need to ride him. Do you have any recommendations for what? Huh? What? There's one called Spirti, I think. Sperti. I think that's what it's called. That recommendation for your vitamin D3 lamp. I should go and get a sponsor from them. Huh? I never get sponsors. I don't have any affiliate programs. Maybe I should do that so I can start making money and stop being so broke. Because all I do is spend money on my horse and RV. All right, guys. If you want to help a girl out, book a consultation. I'm trying to get everything back. Steph, please don't be single forever. You're too awesome of a person. You can't force relationships, you guys. Maybe I'll do a video about dating. And call it Steph Stories or something like that on dating. And put up a picture of me in a swimsuit and have my booty pop and be like, okay. Or as a clickbait. No, you just can't choose anybody. You have to really, you have to find the right best friend to connect with. You can't just like force dating. You just can't. No, especially these days. There's nothing wrong with being single, but I'd rather be single than to be with somebody and be emotionally distraught and upset and micromanaging some guy just getting all messed up. And these days, it's so clear who I connect with, and it's people who do research and don't just willy-nilly follow what they tell you to do to your body. And that there's so many, like, we've whittled down who the potentials are. So I'm going to stick with my husband, which is my fur baby husband, Child Thunder. He's my man for now. Thoughts on mineral sunscreen. I don't have any right now because I just don't. I'd have to go and test it out. Do bad by ourselves. Do bad by ourselves. I don't get that. With the best stuff. Love you. Thank you, the poet. You have to be selective. Yeah, I'm not. There's so many people that can't be alone. I've had so many people in this town, like, first of all, every woman I've ever met, they all have kids. I don't care if they're 19 or freaking 21, they all have kids. So for them, they're like, you're not married, you don't have kids. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not from a small town, because I'm just glad I'm not. I'd rather not be from a small town, travel around the world, and then end up in one. Raw dairy is great if you don't have a histamine response to it. How's the book? The book is, it's pretty much done, but I have to have it edited. I have to pay somebody to edit it, and then I have to photograph it myself. So we're getting close. Thunder's a lot better. I need time, and time is what I don't have. Look at me. I'm like at 47 minutes, and it's 7:10, and yeah, I gotta go. Like, when I get back, I've got to go feed my horse, and then I've got to go and just do a bunch of stuff with him. And then by the time I get into my RV, and then, I've got to go, like, drain the water and do all these, like, more naturist things. And then my gray tanks, my gray water, yeah. And then I have to, let me see, we don't need no help. We can do bad by ourselves. Old saying? Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay, my bad. But by the time I actually sit down, it's like 9 o'clock. So, I'm trying to tighten up my schedule. I was working online the whole day. In fact, I came to the Starbucks to work, and I did a little work, and then I was like, I need to go live. And now I need to go back home. My temporary home. Because my real home is going to be the house I buy. That's my house. I'm not living on somebody else's property. Best anti-aging foods or habits. Best anti-aging foods are liver and thymus. Period. And oyster extract. And some small amounts of cruciferous vegetables a couple times a week. Best anti-aging habits are going to sleep by 9:30, 10, waking up 5:36, and eating as soon as you wake up, and breathing, and getting your feet barefoot in the dirt and grass. Following your circadian rhythm, those are the best. And having a really good attitude, and exercising, and just doing nature's things. What's up, Andrew? So, those are the best habits. Starts here, then goes to there. No, I'm kidding. No, it starts here. I mean, it's the way you look at life. Nice listening to you, Stephanie. Nice listening to you, Angel. All right, guys. I'll go some energy. I see. I like brain instead of thymus. Well, thymus has DAO in it. The brain has omega-3s. Beautiful, fit, intelligent, whatever man wins your heart is going to be a blessed man. Beautiful. Thank you, eclectic gentleman. I think that a lot of guys are intimidated by very intelligent, super athletic, very strong female. They are. It's so funny when you have conversations, because today we live in the triggered reality. So people are like, they take you too personally. You look at somebody the wrong way, you say the wrong thing, and people are like, oh my God. And you're like, okay, so I'm going to a new gym, and it's like, I walk in, and I swear it's like we're in the 1950s, and I'm a black person walking into like a white restaurant, but not like in a racist way. They're just like, who is that? And the guys, one of them got my Instagram and they all shared it in the whole gym. And then they're all peeping me on Instagram, but then they don't say hello to me. And that irritates me, like, just annoying. And so there's one guy in particular, I found out way later that he was all into me at this gym. And I'm like, I'm not into him. I'm not. But when you're not into them, they become like, they act like they hate you after that. They're just like, won't even look at you, won't talk to you. Or if I talk to another guy and I'm not talking to him, then they hate you. And I'm like, people are just really insecure. It's men and women these days. I do better with men, but dang, people are so insecure and so triggered. And if somebody says, oh, Stephanie, I can't stand you, I'll be like, okay, well, what's wrong? You want to talk? Like, let's clear it up. It doesn't trigger me. I'm just like, it's sad, but let's fix this. Red light therapy is great from the neck down. I think it releases nitric oxide or something in your cells and helps the cells heal or something like that. I don't know. Why not the face? Because it gives a lot of people hyperpigmentation on the skin, on the face, especially women with melasma. There you go. All right, guys, gotta go. Burning time, burning light. I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see here. Get out of this parking lot. I got some horse food at the Tractor Supply. And the sun's going down fast now. That means it'll cool off. Okay, am I going the right way? No, I gotta go out. I gotta go out this way. But don't forget to like up the stream. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would like for me to talk about. It's just that all of them are so similar that as soon as you can't ask these really difficult questions when I'm leaving. You have to rotate your foods. You have to do a lot of experimentation. You have to do a smart ketogenic diet. You have to go to bed early, and you have to eat organ meats, thymus, all the stuff I always talk about. All right, guys, this stream is getting shoddy, and I've been doing it on my face. Don't do it on your face. Not everybody gets hyperpigmentation, but Latinas, white, and Asian are the ones that typically get it. All right, energy, Instagram, Stephanie Ketogenic, Facebook is Stephanie the Business Person, website stephanieperson.com if you guys want to book a consultation or get on my course page. And I'm out because I know that the signal is going to get really crappy. And I got to see my fur baby. And I'm out. Peace, guys.